Okay, now we're ready to get to partnering. I say, the sooner the better, because this is, after all, a partner dance. I mean, you can go out, you can dance by yourself, dance the basic steps and so forth, but it becomes a much more beautiful experience once you have a partner. So, I'd like to call my partner up, Miss Renee. Hi, Renee. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about partnering and stepping. Now, the first thing that's going to happen in partnering, right, is you're going to face your partner. Okay, and remember, we're all doing the same steps. So she's stepping on her left and I'm stepping on my left. So, in order for me to, now in a partner dance, right, there is a leader and there is a follower. Typically, the man is the leader and the woman is the follower. But you could have two men dancing, and if two men are dancing, one is going to be the leader, the other is going to be the follower. Okay, and if you have a woman who wants to lead and she's dancing with a man, she will be the leader and the follower. So anyway, that's, without being chauvinistic about it, you need to understand that in couple dancing, there is a leader and a follower. Now, in this particular instance, I'm going to be the leader, Renee's going to be the follower. All right. Now, what do we do? Well, the first thing we want to do is establish a connection, because the only way that we're going to, I as a leader am going to be able to make her follower or give her the suggestions so that she can follow me is to have some sort of way of communicating. Now, one way is just to tell her, okay, Renee, turn. All right, turn the other way. But as you can see, this isn't typically how people dance. They normally dance without yelling commands back and forth at each other. So the way we do it in stepping is with our hand hold. Okay, now what happens is the man, you put your hands out like this, right? Sort of in a cupped position with the thumbs up, and the lady will take her hands and place them on top of yours like this. Now, once you're in this position, you now have a means to communicate with the lady. Okay? All right. Now, how is that going to happen? Well, there are two concepts in dance that we need to understand. The first concept is connection. What is connection? Well, if I pull against her arm, right, and she pulls back and gives me the same amount of pull back, giving the same amount back, just maintain it, right? Now we have what's called connection, okay? Maintain that connection, right? Now as I lean back, no, don't come forward, maintain, pull back against me. All right, so now what we have here is connection, okay? And it's the tension in our arms, right, that keep us upright. Well, as you can see, Renee's sort of struggling with that. But this is what we call connection. Now, the second principle is compression. Push up against me, and I push up against her. Okay? So, this is compression, right, where we are basically pushing against each other and using the tension, right, to keep our arms taut. Now, the one thing that we don't want to happen as we compress is we never want our arms to go beyond our bodies. In other words, our elbows going back like this, right? If I compress against Renee so much that her arms start to go beyond her body, then she's going to step back, all right? And the same thing, compress against me, all right? If the pressure is so great, then you step back, all right? So, again, connection, compression. Connection, compression. This is what you want to practice with your partner, okay? So again, you want to feel a certain tautness, okay, as you connect, right, and as you compress. Now, the other thing that you need to understand, both ladies and men, is that you have to have what's called arm tone. And what arm tone is basically keeping your arm taut so that it is fully connected to your body, so that when one turns you, right, your whole body turns. You don't go like this, you don't go like that, but you turn as a unit. And the way you do that is, number one, again, as I've said several times, you want to keep a certain tautness or tightness in your arm, and you want to keep the arms basically almost soldered into your armpits, okay, so that they're not moving all around like this, but basically, you know, when the arm, when you're compressed against or connected with, okay, your whole body moves. So one way to look at this is if Renee's arms were like a bicycle, I'm sorry, the handlebars on a bicycle, right? So when I push against the her right side, right, the right arm, her right side goes back. When I push against the left arm, her left side goes back. And the same when she does it to me. Go ahead. See? So what happens if you see this, right, is we're basically keeping our what's called a center. That is that space between our faces, okay? And our faces remain facing each other even as, okay, our bodies rotate. That, again, is what you want to practice at home, because this is what's going to allow you to be able to have a connection and a communication with your partner so she could know what it is that you want. Let me give you an example. Let's say just a simple turn, right? Now, if she has tension in her arm, I can feel her entire body. I don't know whether you can see this, but I'm only moving it a little bit. I'm only moving her arm a little bit, but her entire body moves. And that makes it easy for her to know that I mean to turn her that way. Now, just loosen your arm. Okay, now if her arm is just limp, and I do this, right, you know, it should drop down all the way but she's holding it up. There you go. Okay, so you get the idea though, right? The idea is that if her arm is limp, right, then there's no way for her to really know what I mean unless I kind of like force her like that. But stepping, as you know, is a smooth and elegant dance, and we don't want to force anybody. In fact, let me just tell you, gentlemen, you know, it really is not only impolite, but bad form to force a woman to do anything. What you want to do is suggest. And if you suggest in the right way, normally she will follow you in the right way. So that's how we want to think of it. So again, remember, what we want to establish, we want to have what's called compression in our arms. We want to be able to establish, we want to have connection. We want to have compression. Okay, we want our arms to be taut, right? And we want to lock in. We want to lock the arms, right, into our shoulders so that our entire bodies move, right, when either we are turned or we attempt to turn our partners. Okay, well those are some basic principles of partnering and lead and follow. Now, specific to stepping, as I said, it's normally danced in the open position. We start in a closed position, but we immediately go out to this open position. And we can have a handhold from man's left, lady's right, man's right, lady's right, man's left, lady's left, or a two-handhold position, left to left, left to right, and right to left, or left to left and right to right. So anyway, the various positions, but this is what's called open position, okay, when we're standing away from each other. Now, stepping is also what's known as a slotted dance. That is to say, as opposed to a circular dance, right, where we would move around like this, right, typically the movement, the man stays in his position, the lady stays in his position, the lady stays in her position, and they normally exchange positions within the slot, which means that if what you have in the slot is a line of dance, and what happens is whenever you exchange, the man steps out of the line of dance and lets the lady go through. Okay? So, again, remember that concept of the slot and the line of dance. Now, the line of dance is basically the position between the two partners. Okay, so we're dancing like this. This is our line of dance. Okay, so that means that if we want to change positions, I have to move out of the slot and let her come through. Again, move out of the slot and let her come through. Okay? All right, so remember that term, line of dance, because this is what you will be dancing in, and this is the position from which you will execute whatever pattern it is that you're going to do in your dance. Okay? All right, got all of that? Good. Now we're ready to move on to some combinations.